Namaste everyone. Very warm welcome to Satsang today. Sadhguru Sri Mujiji Ki Jai. Let's continue to look at the Ashtavakra Gita, and as I've been advising from the beginning, don't look at this set of sessions as something that you have to just listen to and hear beautiful words. See, it is all of that, but look at each of these as spiritual pointers, as spiritual contemplations, almost as spiritual exercises. As you look at each verse, it is pointing you to some condition which might wrongly have been picked up, something that we are believing about ourselves, which is not true in reality. So these are pointers to your awakening, and each of the verses is filled with so much power, spiritual significance, that the contemplation of it, the looking at it with your direct insight, not just adding to your basket of concepts, but looking at it in your own present experience, can lead to that which we are all longing for, that which you are looking for. Okay, so look at chapter 9, which is detachment. Ashtavakra is speaking now. Ashtavakra said, opposing forces, duties done and left undone. Opposing forces, duties done and left undone. When does it end? And for whom? Considering this, be ever desireless. Let go of all things, and to the world turn an indifferent eye. Considering this, be ever desireless. Let go of all things, and to the world turn an indifferent eye. Rare and blessed is one whose desire to live, to enjoy, and to know has been extinguished by observing the ways of men. Rare and blessed is one whose desire to live, to enjoy, and to know has been extinguished by observing the ways of men. We've discussed this. Don't let any of the terms create any misunderstanding. We explored in detail what the sage is really pointing to. Seeing all things as threefold suffering, the sage becomes still. Seeing all things as threefold suffering, the sage becomes still. Insubstantial, transient, contemptible, the world is only fit for rejection. Insubstantial, transient, contemptible, the world is fit only for rejection. Was there an age or time men existed without opposites? Was there an age or time men existed without opposites? Leave the opposites behind. Be content with what comes. Perfection. So I was waiting to get to this paragraph so I could explain what is happening. See why? Because he explains now that the chapter is called detachment. So what do I say? That sometimes the sage has to give a whack from this side and sometimes he has to give a whack from that side. So if he feels like there is something like attachment, then he'll say, what is this world? It's all rubbish. Leave it behind. You see? Don't look at it. It's full of this meat buckets and nothing but death and decay, these kind of things. Because to take us out of that attachment position of me and mine, you see? And in the end, he says, leave all opposites behind, which includes attachment and detachment. You see? Sometimes the sage has to loosen the position so that we come to neutrality. You see, so if we are very attached, he will say very strong things like, leave all of this. Why are you so attached to this meat bucket? You see, why are you so like that? But it can sound like there's an aversion towards something. You see, but it is actually just loosening that attachment and then saying, okay, leave even that. Leave the realm of opposites. So that's why the previous four or five, 3 or 4 verses, they sound like very harsh. See, things like insubstantial, transient, contemptible. The world is fit only for rejection, like that. You see, because we can be holding on to something here with for dear life as if it is giving something substantial to us. Sage is saying, just leave it. You see, like earlier he said, shun it like poison or something like that. You see? So it brings us to this, loosens our position, loosens our attachment to things, and then says, be empty of even an aversion. So the point of the pointings is not to create this opposite value, not that we go from attachment to detachment, not even that we go from doership to non-doership. You see, we leave all these opposites behind and come to this openness, to this neutrality. Was there an age or time men existed without opposites? What does this mean? The person entity, the person identity is dependent on this play of opposites. Without it, can there be this identity? You see, every concept contains some judgment, contains a picking up of an idea, a position, a reference point, as I keep saying. You see? Now he says, was there an age or time men existed without opposites? What is implied is that this identity relies on these positions, which are on opposite ends of the spectrum. Leave the opposites behind. Be content with what comes. Perfection. Perfection. Not that perfection which is also in the opposites of perfection and imperfection. Perfection or defective, not like that. This perfection of openness, neutrality. Just what is right now. So the sage is very nicely shaken us out of our attachment. And then as we are starting to get an aversion, you see, or the idea that I must be opposed to the world or in opposition to something, then he says, no, leave all the opposites behind and remain empty of these opposites. The greatest seers, saints and yogis agree on very little. This is very good. The greatest seers, saints and yogis agree on very little. You see? What is he saying? Seeing this, who could not be indifferent to knowledge and become still? You see? What is he saying there? Don't be attached even to your spiritual concepts. As Guruji says, don't make tattoos out of my words. You see? As Bhagwan said, these are just thorns that we are using to remove other thorns. At the end, even these are thrown away. And what is the clue to discover this? That even the greatest sages, they don't agree. They don't agree on the path, on what freedom is, how to get there, especially the experience of the present, the recognition of the self is what the sages seem to agree upon. You see, so very little could be that. But how to get there, what is the path to follow, are there steps or no steps, is there practice or no practice? Is effort needed or not needed? Is devotion a part of this self-recognition or not? Many disagreements can happen. See? Even amongst those who have recognized the self. So don't allow these confusions, these contradictions to confuse you. That's why I've given all of you a clue that no pointing actually is the ultimate truth. No pointing is the ultimate truth. That's why it is a pointing. It can only point to the self, to the truth. But it cannot itself contain no term, no path, nothing actually. Because what are you being pointed to? That which you already are. Now, suppose you're on a road, you feel you're lost. You ask someone, "Sir, can you point me the way to myself?" Very easy. Some will say, "Go straight, take a left, take another left, take another left, walk for a bit, you'll get to the self." Some will say, "You're already yourself." Some will give all different kind of direction. But what are we all looking for? The self. The self itself is a big clue, you see. We're not searching for something outside of ourselves. It's just the self. So the directions could be different. But you stay with this discovery. What does the sage say? Seeing this, who could not be indifferent to knowledge? So he's talking about detachment. See, the whole chapter is called detachment. And he knows that for spiritual seekers, spiritual knowledge itself can become a big attachment. I am attached to my concepts because I must be right. I have invested so much time and energy on something. I must have come to a valid conclusion. The sage says that even the great sages have not agreed. So even these have little value, except that as which points to yourself. Be still. Be still means remain here. See what is. Seeing this, who could not be indifferent to knowledge and become still. So let's just quickly recap. Opposing forces, duties done and left undone. So he's talking about doership. You see, action and inaction, we are attached to these ideas. So he's saying, contemplate. When does this end? And for whom? Is there ever an end to doership? Consider this. Be ever desireless. Let go of all things. And to the world turn an indifferent eye. So he's shaking us out of our attachments. So what is he talked about? He's talked about the 2Ds. We talked about 3D ego, isn't it? So he's talked about the 2Ds out of this 3D ego, which is the doership and the desire. What do both of these rely on? It relies on the D of duality. There must be a sense of separation, of duality, for me to be a separate entity before I can desire something which seemingly is outside of me. See, there is a me who wants to make something mine. That is desire. And when that something seems to have become mine, that becomes an attachment. So this play of me and mine rests on this D of duality. Then, if I have a desire, if there is somewhere to get, something to get, then what to do? The do comes, the D of doership. So he's saying, when will this end? Things to do and things not to do. And for whom? This is the important question. Who is here which is doing or not doing? Considering this, be ever desireless, let go of all things, and to the world, turn an indifferent eye. Rare and blessed is one whose desire to live, to enjoy, and to know has been extinguished by observing the ways of men. So, when we have this idea that I am living my life and I have some control over it, I want these particular experiences, I want to be able to pick and choose the content of my experiences, which is what we talked about yesterday, pain avoidance, pleasure seeking type experiences. I only want pleasure, don't want pain. Those kind of beliefs, which gives this false idea of control over what is going to show up on this movie screen. Desire to live, to enjoy, and to know means we seem to be climbing a ladder of spiritual concepts to know more and more and more. And ultimately, I will have the best, most powerful concept, which is what I really want. The sage is saying it's not about that kind of knowledge also. Has been extinguished by observing the ways of men. You see? So who has been able to get only those experiences in life that they wanted? That is not the tale of humanity. So observing the ways of men means to look at humanity and to see that all of this actually is not getting anyone anywhere. So let go of all of this. So again, remember that the name of the chapter is detachment. So are you getting how? So we've done 9 chapters so far. How in a beautiful way all the clues, all the pointings are looked at, and then there's a invitation to drop it, and then again going back to one of the clues and deeply diving into it and seeing how the identity operates and how you can be free of it. So it's actually very practical. The Ashtavakra is famous or infamous actually for being too abstract and only for very, very seekers who have been very, very accomplished in some way. But actually, when looked at from this lens, when you search for clues as to how do I discover the truth for myself, you will find that it is full of that. Actually, last evening, let me see if I can find. I was contemplating some of this, because last few weeks somehow I've been speaking like this about the clues to awakening. So yesterday I was feeling that I want to see what are all the clues which are in Ashtavakra. So some things just came from there. So I want to give all of you some homework also. You have to help me, because what we are going to do then is that make a compilation of all of these clues and point to the relevant verses which point very directly to those clues. So will you take this on as some homework, and I will give the clue, and then you have to help me and figure out the relevant verses from the Ashtavakra Gita. So in the booklet, which can be called something, we'll see clues to awakening or clues to enlightenment, something like that. Then we can say that this is from the Ashtavakra, this is the clue, and these are the relevant verses which invite us to follow this clue. I'll really be happy if some of you take on this project. It is not so difficult. I feel like it'll make your contemplation on the Ashtavakra itself much deeper, and you'll be able to see what the two sages, Ashtavakra and Janaka, are pointing to in this way. And while I'm sharing the clues, what you could do is, if something you feel is missed out or something which uh, you have found in the Ashtavakra or any of Advaita Vedanta, if you feel like there's something which is not captured here, you can tell me that this is another clue which could be useful for many of us. So can we do like this? Will you help me with this? So 11 I found so far. 11 clues to awakening. The first is we're looking for that. Okay, the play is that of the finding this self-recognition, right? So we're looking for that as in the I am that T with a capital T first. That which is the witness of all things. That which is the witness of all things. So Ashtavakra, for example, has said, you are the one solitary witness of all things. So this is what we are looking for. What is it that witnesses all things? So one that immediately came to me is this popular one. You are the one solitary witness of all things. But we can find other examples. And more important than finding the examples is use this clue to look within. Okay? The second is that which remains unchanging. That which remains unchanging. What is the words that came to mind? There was yesterday or day before we discussed this verse where he said, the self cannot be enhanced or diminished. That which remains unchanging. Third clue is that which is beyond limitations or boundaries. Beyond limitations or boundaries. The verse that came to me when I was contemplating this is the verse where he said, I am the shoreless ocean. Shoreless ocean. We look at Jerome's question just after we finish the clues. Fourth is that which can only be found in the present or now. That which can only be found in the present. Which means that it is ever present. It does not come and go. It is not subject to time. You see? So Ashtavakra many times he said, let go of that which is coming and going. Stay with that which does not come and go. Which means what? That it must be here now. Every time we look. Fifth clue, that which has no desires or aversion. That which has no desires or aversion is beyond attachment. So we just looked at some of the verses. The entire chapter actually is about this. That which has no desires or aversion. Sixth, that which is beyond doership, beyond action and inaction. That which is beyond doership. Seventh, that which is beyond separation and union. Beyond both the concept of separation and union. Eighth, eighth is an important one. That which cannot be found by the mind. That which cannot be found by the mind means that which cannot be described or got to by concepts, judgments, or inferences. that which is your direct insight beyond any phenomenal perception. Ninth, that which is your direct insight beyond any phenomenal perception. It is your only non-phenomenal experience, if you can call it an experience. It's your direct insight beyond any phenomenal perception, your only non-phenomenal experience. Tenth, that which is the source of your being, that which is the source of your being. So many clues Ashtavakra has given about the arc of consciousness, the arc of the universe, also coming and going. That which is the source of your being, which in its unassociated form is consciousness, and in its associated form appears as the ego. That which is the source of your being, which in its unassociated form is consciousness, and its associated form appears as the ego. Last one for now, and you can add to this list, is that which is discovered by following the guidance of the divine presence or the intuitive presence or the Sadguru, whatever terminology we use, the dispeller of ignorance. The form of that is not as relevant, but there must be this intuitive light, what we call the Sadguru, discovered by following the guidance of the Sadguru and or so either by following the guidance or and by surrendering to this presence, surrendering to the divine presence. So similar to what Bhagavan said, inquire or surrender. So I feel like this will make a very useful book or booklet for everyone because it captures the essence of most of our pointings, not just Ashtavakra, but most of what we are pointing to in Satsang. And sometimes it can be very confusing, the terminology and the contradictions. So then this can serve as a very useful set of pointers for anyone coming to Satsang or interested in awakening or enlightenment. I feel like we've captured a lot of, or most of what Ashtavakra is saying. But if you feel there is something missed out, something that can be added, happy to include that in that small booklet that we can bring. Second last is not clear, is it? That which is the source of your being. We come to this seeing that the self is all there is, the absolute is all there is. That's why it is the absolute. There is no movement, there is no sense of existence, nothing at all. And yet, when I am emerges, when the sense of being or consciousness emerges, it is undeniable that a qualitative Emergence has happened. Nothing has changed in reality. And yet the tasting of being, the tasting of presence is undeniable in our waking existence, in our present experience. Therefore, this being also must come from all that is, or the absolute. We've contemplated this many, many times together also, where we looked at what is that I, which is amming, which is now being. I am. It is not you are. This I, which is the self, the absolute, is now I am. We've done this a few times, so this is what I'm pointing to. Maybe the second part is what was confusing. So I said that which in its unassociated form. So I am remains the whole point of letting go of all of these conditions is to remove attributes which have been wrongly attributed to I am conditions. Because all attributes are pointing to a limitation. So we're dropping all concepts about I am. Just I am. Not even I am as a concept. Just presence, just existence. I am not something. This is what Bhagavan has said. That I am is Atma and I am something is the play of Jivatma. So beyond this play of some individuality, some limited existence, just I am. Unassociated being, as Guruji calls it. We're coming to our unassociated being, in which when consciousness is just consciousness. God playing as God. I am that I am. And then when it picks up an association, that I am something, I am man, I am woman, I am husband, I am wife, I am seeker, is it? All this becomes the identity, part of the identity. The person identity is nothing but a basket of these concepts, a basket of these beliefs. So as we're freeing, consciousness is freeing itself from its basket of conditioning, basket of beliefs. It is coming to unassociated being. So that's why I say, which in its unassociated form is consciousness. And we said, in its associated form, appears as ego, doesn't actually become one, only appears as ego. So you can appear as if you are a person when you are attaching a attribute to yourself. But it is just an appearance, just a sense of some individuality, a sense of limitation, but never the reality of it.
Namaste, Father. Father, the first clue, I am the solitary witness, and this one they contradict themselves because I cannot. I am beyond all association or non-association.
This is exactly what we spoke about the other day. Maybe if you've forgotten, you can have a look at the recording. This is exactly what we spoke about the other day. Okay, let me take two or three sentences about this. That which sees it is beyond all association. That one is aware that it is beyond all association. So this awareness is called the primal witnessing. And that which usually is taken as witnessing, which is the play of perception, which relies on attention, even that is witness. Even you are aware of even that. that you are beyond all of this. So this awareness is what is being referred to as the solitary witness. So we shared for a few minutes on this the other day, and I felt like you saw it quite clearly. I made some time.
Yes, Father. What you say now is precisely what is my understanding also.
Yes,
And I can clearly see this. But the words they confuse.
yes, yes. That's
But
why I'm here.
the words they confuse actually.
Yes, if the words were clear already, then all I would have to do is give all of you the Ashtavakra Gita and not spend weeks and weeks on it.
Yes, Father. Thank you.
Jerome says, forget this question. Not important. It's not bad. It's he says, can you say if there's a difference between Ashtavakra and Avadhuta Gita? I don't see any, but you seem to prefer this one. In fact, it's funny that you asked this, and that's why I want to answer it also. Because yesterday I was having a feeling that after we finish the Ashtavakra Gita, if we ever come to that point, I was feeling to do Avadhuta Gita or maybe Ribu Gita, one of them. So I feel like all of them are very beautiful, which point directly to the truth of what we are. So, in fact, I don't know what will come up when we start looking at that. It's been a long time since I looked at the Avadhuta Gita actually, but from whatever I remember of it, it was very direct, similar to Ashtavakra Gita, and there is some feeling here to look at one of these, either the Ribu Gita or the Avadhuta Gita next. Finish the Ashtavakra. I feel like this set of clues is very, very beautiful for all of us. They can serve as beautiful reminders for what the pointing is really about. Yeah. Jyotima says that this silent retreat, Guruji is also reading from Ashtavakra Gita. Yes. In fact, when I asked for his blessings this time before starting Ashtavakra Gita, he also said that he would also like to do it sometime, and very, very happy. And I'm going to hear all those sessions. Please don't ever compare the two sessions, because I'm sure what is coming from here is complete nonsense compared to what he is sharing.
He's just reading the verses.
He's reading the verses.
At the end of each section.
I'd love to hear. I'm going to put on those recordings soon after when there's space here to watch some of them.
Regarding the most important point number 8, I had a
Most
good-
important point.
I
Let
had
me
a
see which is.
chronology
Yes, yes, my dear. Which is
that which cannot be found by the mind.
Mind.
But like I don't know what I'm saying is
Same.
correct. What I feel is, but that which when found cannot be denied by.
Yes, yes. This is very good. Well, the mind does try to deny it for some time,
But
yes.
not in any substantial
Substantial way.
manner.
Yes. I would agree with this. That ultimately the mind also has to agree that this is unmistakably true.
Exactly. In the sense that it falls in line at
Falls
some
in
point.
line. Yes. I like this. We can make- Anything else we missed, you feel? In the
That which cannot be found by the mind. But I just asked Anandaji if you got it. But that which when found cannot be denied by
And then we discussed it a little bit, where we saw that it does try and come up with some resistance, but ultimately even this recognition is there that the mind also falls in line. It is not constantly going to resist. Like the mind here, for example, is not constantly saying, "Hey, what you're saying is not right. It's not true. It's not resisting it in that way. So there comes a time where it falls in line, as she said. Of course, it still tries some guerrilla warfare sometimes. Suddenly it'll come up. When it finds an opportunity, it does. But mostly you can say it is falling in line. Yes, I saw this one. Guruji is reading from. Which one was that? Which translation? Forget the name. The popular one. Byron.
Shambhala
The,
Foundation.
the publisher. Author name something Byron. Forgetting it now. I remember reading that edition as well many years ago. So, geez, a few of you, I'm sure, will help me with this homework and find some verses so that we can put together. Can they send to one of us? Can they send to Krishna or Shivani? So, those who are finding the verses, helping me find the verses which reinforce these clues so that we can make this small book about Ashtavakra Gita, but in a different way. We have that other one coming anyway with all the verses and the commentary, but this one can be a smaller booklet. So those they can send to Shivani or to Krishna. They can send. We'll compile and we'll get them to Amaya in some way. I just don't want to add to her work because she's constantly doing so much seva.
Whatever is pointing to these things, we have to.
Yes, that can be the initial project. But if you feel one day that you want to broaden the scope of it, you look at all the clues in Advaita Vedanta and then look at various sources, we can do that. I keep inviting this one to work on a project with me.
Because Mulla did not believe like that. Which I'm only one word right now, there are direct
Yes,
references to all these.
yes. So you take that one home. The rest of us will do the Ashoka. You take, bring some, and then maybe more of us can join that. What is the name of the scripture again? You always tell me, but always.
Mulla did not believe 40 verses only.
40 was in reality. In fact, Vedika said that after this I should look at that one also. So maybe once you see something like that, which
It's such a joy, Father. And like when she said like 40 verses from Bhagwan, it's just such a joy.
That's it. We'll do that next after this, before Avduta or Ribhuta. And 40 verses doesn't sound too big a project. Hannah says, I'd love to join this project if I can. Of course, my dear, all of us, any of us are welcome. And so if the project is clear, then just forward your findings to Krishna. On Facebook, he is Jesh Krishnamurthy, or to Shivani on Facebook, she is Shivani Gala, Gala. So if the project is not clear, I can go through over again what we are doing and I can share. If you can let me know on the chat. You sound like one of those clickbait articles on sites. The clickbait are like 7 ways to something, 11 pointers, 11 clues to enlightenment. Hopefully they'll not feel it was clickbait. The chapter on detachment is not over. Verse number 6 in chapter 9. One who through worldly indifference, through serenity and reason, sees his true nature. One who through worldly indifference, through serenity and reason, sees his true nature and escapes illusion. Is he not a true teacher? One who through worldly indifference, through serenity and reason, sees his true nature and escapes illusion. Is he not a true teacher? In the myriad forms of the universe, see the primal element alone. In the myriad forms of the universe, see the primal element alone. You will be instantly free and abide in self. Very beautiful one. In the myriad forms of the universe, see the primal element alone. You will be instantly free and abide in self. Desire creates the world. Renounce it. Renounce desires, and you renounce the world. Now you may live as you are. Desire creates the world. This can be understood in two ways. The first way to understand this is that it is often said that there was a primal urge or a primal desire within the Absolute to taste itself as if it is existent, taste its own existence. This primal urge, it is said, that must have been present in the self for it to create this manifest phenomenal creation. So it could be pointing to that way, where it's looking very, very at the primal aspect of creation, that the primal urge came within the heart of awareness of the self, which led to this world. So this is the first way. The second way to understand this is that this duality of me and the world, this idea of me and the world, relies on this, what I often call the Mahamantra of the ego, which is what's in it for me. This is the voice of desire. What's in it for me? So the sense of separation rests very much on this idea, what's in it for me. And once we are free from this idea, we are able to just let go of it. Then this idea of a separate world will cease to exist. All of it will be you. All of it will be an aspect of you. So this verse can also be looked at in both these ways, either of these ways. Desire creates the world, renounce it. Renounce desires and you renounce the world. And now you may live as you are. One misunderstanding that can come because of this verse is that you might want to renounce your job, your life, your house, your partner, your children. You see? So that is not what the pointing is about. All you have to do is renounce this voice of the mind. All you have to do is renounce just your next thought. It is enough to renounce. You see, many who have renounced all of those things have still not renounced this. Many have renounced all of those things in the world and still have not renounced the what's in it for me. Why to renounce it? Why to renounce this mantra of what's in it for me? because it is not referring to the true you. It is referring only to this identity, which has been the source of all your suffering. So just renouncing this is enough. Okay, so that was the chapter on detachment. Let's just look at a few verses in the next chapter, and then we see if there's something to speak about from that. Chapter 10, Quietude. Ashtavakra continues to speak. So Ashtavakra is saying, give up desire, which is the enemy. Give up prosperity, which is born of mischief and good works. Be indifferent. Give up desire, which is the enemy. Give up prosperity, which is born of mischief and good works. Be indifferent. The last sentence is the most important. Look upon friends, lands, wealth, houses, wives. Friends, lands, wealth, houses, wives, gifts, and all apparent good fortune as a passing show, as a dream lasting 3 to 5 days. It's very specific there. Remember again that he is talking to a king, speaking to Janaka. So he's telling him, look upon friends, lands, wealth, houses, wives, gifts, and all apparent good fortune as a passing show, as a dream lasting 3 to 5 days. When there is desire, there is the world. We just spoke about this. When there is desire, there is the world. Be firm in non-attachment. Be free of desire. Be happy. When there is desire, there is the world. Be firm in non-attachment. Be free of desire. Be happy. Bondage and desire are the same. Destroy desire and be free. Only by detaching from the world does one joyfully realize the self. Bondage and desire are the same. Destroy desire and be free. Only by detaching from the world does one joyfully realize the self. You are one. Awareness itself. You are one. Awareness itself. The universe is neither aware nor does it exist. The universe is neither aware nor does it exist. Even ignorance is unreal. What is left to know? Even ignorance is unreal. What is left to know? Okay. So we've discussed most of this today already, but we'll look at it again tomorrow. What time did we start?
Father started long back.
She started in a cab long back. Started 11:30. So it's only been an hour. Why does it feel like it's been a long satsang already? I feel because maybe it's because we shared these 11 clues, you see, which are enough satsang for anyone for a day. So what do we want to do? We have some time. If someone has really a burning question and hopefully related to what we are speaking about, then I can look at some of that. Or if you want to sing something, if you want to look at our bhajans that we've been working on creating. Some other project here is to have an album of some bhajans that we record. And it started because one day Radha said before she was going to Sahaja for the recording with Omi, she said, She said to me that it's not so easy to find original compositions. And when she said like this, I just felt like if we can come up with some original compositions, it can't be so difficult. And then because when a daughter has a request, then something automatically comes, and some tunes and some compositions have been coming from here. And I have to be honest, I like them. They've been quite nice. so, uh, so we'll put some attention and focus into bringing out that a few of those as well. We'll wait and see if there's some question. Just sit and talk.
A lot of stuff starts coming up when I'm about to reach you.
A lot of stuff.
Whirlpool of emotion, aloneness.
Because Varini will go to school.
For the last 1.5 months, has been a complete collapse, like a fall of the house of cards.
Yeah.
It all fronts. Family, relations, my brother, got really serious.
How is he now?
Tomorrow morning, we're going to Mumbai.
Procedure.
Some doctor, we're consulting a doctor, not a doctor. The Delhi doctors usually work. The medical doctor who we were in touch with also kind of said the flight would be way too much.
Nice.
So bad and RME. Like on all fronts.
The other day, someone was saying, you can say it was Shivani was saying to me that I have this fear that the one that has climbed up so far, I hope she doesn't fall down. And after some time, when she had the ears to hear it, I said, "Can we push that one down now together, so that you don't have to be fearful about her?" So the one that is built up the house of cards or is living in the house of cards, that one, if we can drop on our own, in our own contemplation, in our own looking at the falsity of that one, then the fear about that one falling is gone. Because we dropped it by looking that no such one actually exists. So all these clues, and you were not here when you were in the cab and the clues were being shared, are just for this discovery. That the one who is even getting somewhere spiritually can actually become the dust in the eye, which seems to prevent true vision. So, of course, all blessings are always there, that in the world, whatever events are happening, may they go very beautifully for you. Of course, that is not to deny that. But the one that is hanging on for dear life on the basis of what events are coming, see, can we look at that one together so that we can maybe flick it away and then see what is really existing? You see? Because God does not live in a house of cards, and only God is here. So therefore, if the house of cards is collapsing over someone, then that one must be something which is presuming itself to be separate from God, separate from reality. That identity itself is a house of cards. Anything that is picked up, like I say, no? Anything you put after I am is actually a lie. So this bundle of concepts is bound to fade away. Otherwise, consciousness would forever play as if it is an individual entity. It would never come to play as the truth of itself. God will never say, I am that I am. He will only say, I am Supriya. And God does not want to play only that way. So, in the play of Supriya, now it is played as Supriya, and now it will come back to just I am. So it is this individuality which is the house of cards, which is falling. Is it? And sometimes events are prodding that falling, but the same events given to the mind can actually strengthen the sense of, sense of individuality, and the same events handed to the Sadguru can weaken the sense of individuality. You see, if you give anything to the mind, it will only strengthen it. It will say, no, no, but you have to something, get back into duality, desire, worship. Then hand it to your true intuitive presence. And you see that all movement can happen, all action can happen, or even inaction can happen. But that's why satsang is auspicious, because most other things in the world are selling us the idea of our duality, of our separation, of our individuality. It is to come in the presence of Sat, Satguru, presence of truth, presence of being, that shows us that this whole manifest universe is a house of cards. What can we say about it here which will last forever? That's what we were looking at together a few days ago. If everything is coming and going, are you also coming and going? But is there anything in the manifest universe which is not coming and going? So how long will we hold on to our bodies as if they contain us? How long will we hold on to this world as if it contains us? When the paradigm is reversed, where you see that you contain this body, you contain this manifest universe, then the coming and going or the changes in the manifestation don't seem as strong. It can happen for a while that you're having a dual conversation. It can happen for a while that some of the words are seeping in, and sometimes because the mind has been given some power, so it can feel like even that is speaking at the same time. So it can feel like a bit of a settling in into satsang. You're here for a few days or?
Tomorrow
Tomorrow, yeah.
and Saturday I'm coming. It's taking Varan after. And then Sunday.
Tomorrow is the orientation.
Yes, day before yesterday was.
Ah.
So I left her day before yesterday. Yesterday we've gone to school.
That reminds me. And I'm really sorry because I know Krishna and Saurabh are here from Pune for satsang, but tomorrow we have a full day orientation in children's school, new school. So I have to be there. Krishna is out anyway, so it's okay. So tomorrow, most likely we don't have satsang. If we do, if you're able to come back on time, then I'll post a message on the groups and say what time we able to. That reminded me. Tomorrow they have their orientation.
She's been a little sleepy and I guess it takes some time. for us also.
Did you get socks for me?
I came from.
I don't accept any gifts except socks. I like those which you gave me.
I was waiting for Bharat to go. Yesterday we met at
With
the
Leela?
restaurant Leela. So he's asked me, "Are you coming? You haven't met father. I'm coming tomorrow." Once my husband leaves. So father, actually that. I don't know what happened after the conversation, after you asked me, "Are you coming?" And Bharat, we're planning a trip to Tiruvannamalai
Yeah.
and Coimbatore. Isha, all 9 of us from Kanpur. And so everyone from Kanpur, they said big namaste, and big hug.
Give my love to you.
So Father, this one that still feels that fear of being isolated by food because I'm following this.
Spiritual power.
And yesterday when this whole conversation came and I was talking to Krishna about the tour, like the trip from Bangalore to Thiru or Chennai to Thiru, just triggered. And after that, he didn't talk to me the whole night. In the morning, he left. And something, actually, that just got everything out. And the fear of being.
It works in all different flavors. We won't name names, but she knows who I'm talking about. So yesterday also a couple came. And he came for first time and he was sitting right in front of me. He came because she had called him, sitting right in front of me, and he's listening to me really intently. Okay, throughout satsang, he is like this. I'm like, wow, it's his first satsang and he's really getting into it. And he's like that. So later he told me she had told me to be at my best, be at my best behavior and don't sleep. It's going to be long, 2 hours. Poor thing is like, oh, Bunny, something will happen. She's like really listening. So the relationship thing will play in all different flavors.
And actually, in the morning I was like going round and round. I'm glad it came out.
My kids have a nice term which they use for these things. They use the term triggered. They get triggered. Ma, you get triggered by. Ma, you get triggered. So you got triggered by.
That's the term I also use, by the way.
All the
My
cool
trigger
ones use it.
I did not use it here, but that's what we say. Like every time I'm slowly triggering.
So all these, the remote control seems to be outside us in some way. So something presses a button and then we get triggered and we move based on that. So as we come more and more into the reality of what we are, and there's acceptance of people will continue to press the buttons on the remote, but will not have that, not dance to the tunes of that remote control constantly. Because that's the way the mind plays. It knows all this. That if this, therefore that.
Yeah.
If
So this also played. Morning, should I go to father or no? Otherwise, he's gonna check on me that whether I've gone or not. And though I was very sure that I am going, but you know how the mind is.
That's why you were circling in the cab for 2 hours around
No,
the house.
I'm thinking, oh my god, just manifested it over.
Oh, this Kanpur gang has to get away from manifestation of all sorts.
I heard you then and there, this Kanpur gang.
When I tried to sing this Kanpur gang, she knew what I'm going to say after
Yeah.
that.
I just, it dropped then and there.
I tell all of you, Richa also when she falls, Ruchika also when she comes. I tell all of you the same thing.
Yeah. So in our blood, I think, now.
I'm conditioning. When good things happen, also you say, I manifested. No. So it's only the guilt. The pride is not there. The neutralization is not happening because only one aspect you say, I manifest.
Oh.
So then you say, I manifest everything.
No, I'd rather say I don't manifest anything. Taxi, ride, calmed that goal to some extent.
And he says, Father, where do you go when you close your eyes and do not seem here at all? I keep waiting when you will come back here and open eyes. I don't want to answer that question because there's one Gopala here who feels like he gets to the truth only when his eyes are closed. Nada asks a question. She says, Anantaji, sometimes after letting go of whatever happens, when abiding in I am, there is still remnants of a personal history. Feels strong. Yes, yes. And you're abiding just in our presence. If that feels comfortable for you, just remaining in your presence. Then reminiscing means what? That some visuals, some concepts of the past, they can come. And we are not to resist them. We are not to resist them. Allow them to come. And nothing that comes can stay. Everything that comes goes. That is the rule of life. Especially with things like thoughts and imagination. You can even look at that and see that thoughts are so momentary. Memory, imagination, so momentary. Emotions can seem like a longer appearance. They seem to linger longer. But even that passes. So what to do when these past memories come? Nothing. You just remain as the witness of it. Let them come and go. Don't buy any of the stories that the mind is selling about them. Don't even force your attention too much. That's why I said if it is comfortable to rest in the presence I am, then very good. But if attention seems to be going in other ways, don't fight with it too much. Little bit, if you carry this intent to keep the attention on I am and it works, it is enough. But if you find it's going to the past, you don't know what is happening. Maybe some energetic release is happening, something from the past which has been brushed under the carpet might be now coming up for you to witness it without judgment. That which actually played out in the past with a lot of interpretation, judgment, and things that might be coming up now for your forgiveness. And forgiveness does not mean that you have to say, okay, I forgive you or something. Yes, forgiveness means allowing it, free space, without judgment, without conclusion. So let this unburdening happen on its own. Nothing is trouble. Nothing has the potential to cause suffering unless you believe a conclusion, judgment, concept, interpretation about it. So no appearance is actually any trouble for you. Even appearances which seem to be reminiscent of the past. It's okay. I saw it was a hidden energy, delivering shame and not honorable thought. I would like to leave this at your feet. All thought you leave at my feet. Don't even bother about which thought is honorable or dishonorable. Abhay says, Father, I have met you here, but there is no you and me. It's very beautiful. My favorite meeting place. Father, what is that aspect of yours in which all this play is just a speck? Please tell me something about that. That which does not participate in satsang at all, outside of your waking consciousness. All these clues are for that. All these clues are for that. So I'm taking you to that, bringing you to this recognition of your own self, like Abhay said, where we meet as one. Even the concept of meet is not applicable there because we are one. We look at one of the bhajans before we closed. Which ones? Do you remember any of them? Was there some Ram? There was one very like boatman type bhajan, which was
Oh yeah, we
came
sang
from
that the last time.
What is it?
Ramji, I remember.
We need more words for that one.
Yeah, we need more
Vedika
words for
can-
all of them.
Vedika,
Yeah, she's here.
Shivani can,
She's good.
can help with some words. Yeah.
तुझे राम ही पार लगाए रे भैया, राम ही पार लगाए, तुझे राम ही पार लगाए रे भैया, राम ही पार लगाए,
देखो राम जी आए रे भैया, राम जी आए रे। देखो राम जी आए रे भैया, राम जी आए रे। So we have these two lines.
Very much.
It's very nice.
The voice, I think,
Everything sounds.
everything is just so.
This is Shiva ones also, Father. I know there are Shiva ones, but I can't remember what.
Shall I sing, Father?
Yes, 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 of course.
I don't believe in bhajans and wordings and other things. I'll simply sing what my heart says. Bhajaman Narayan, Narayan, Narayan. Bhajaman Narayan, Narayan, Narayan. Shriman Narayan, Narayan, Narayan. Bhajaman Narayan, Narayan, Narayan. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Ram, 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 Ram. Ram, Ram, Ram. Rama, 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 Rama. Ram, Ram, Ram. Ram, Ram. Ram, Ram. Ram, Ram, Ram. Rama, 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 Rama. Ram, Ram, Ram.
Very nice. Very good. Well done. Very nice. Something?
Just don't listen to them also.
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah. Shiva, 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 Shambhu.
No, I don't even remember this.
Shambhu. Jai Ho. Shiva, 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 Shambhu. Shambhu. Jai Ho. Hare, 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 Shambhu. Shambhu. Jai Ho. Hare, 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 Shambhu. Shambhu. Jai Ho. Mahadevaya, 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 Mahadevaya. Shiva 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 Shambho Shambho Jai Ho Shiva 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 Shambho Shambho Jai Ho Hare 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 Shambho Shambho Jai Ho Hare 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 Shambho Shambho Jai Ho Devaya Maha 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 Devaya Shiva 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 Shambho Shambho Jai Ho Hare 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 Shambho Shambho Jai Ho
You know this, Father. This is the art of living.
Maybe we want to do this Nirvana Shatakam, or what are you going to do? We're going to take one verse from that, then translate the English and do some commentary on that. And take...
We did a little bit. No, the other one day, like sang, and you just, I think you just read it. You didn't like put it in your words.
Maybe also very nice. It fit with the Ashtavakra also very well.
It's been a long time since I heard this.
Also, Aarti in her works.
Yes, we have to do
Should
that.
I do that? Because I was feeling like the conch is just so, like the just the voice will it be good enough? Because there's like so much in the conch and everything. I mean, and the
Conch, yeah.
accompaniment is so beautiful. Like,
It is. We can give it a shot. There's also the morning aarti that do there with the Devam Jai Jagdish Hare.
are the words on the website, or are you just getting it from Google, or do they have it on the website? Are they? Yeah.
The evening one is here. Yes.
Yeah. Second record.
Should we close with the morning aarti?
It was not open.
Father, sing, don't play.
Sing. Yeah, they need some relief from my voices. You heard this one, have you heard? It's very nice. My kids also had such a nice time because they've never heard the aarti sung in that way. You know, that accent and everything. It's fun. I used to love this morning aarti.
Jaya Jagadish Hare Swami Jaya Jagadish Hare Bhakta Jano ke Santata Bhakta Jano ke Santata Shana mein Dure Gare Om Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare Swami Jaya Jagadish Hare Bhakta Jano ke Santata Bhakta Jano ke Santata Shana mein Dure Gare Om Jaya Jagadish Hare Jo Gyate Bhala Bhave Dukha Vinase Manaka Swami Dukha Dina Se Manaka Sukha Sampati Karave Sukha Sampati Karave Yasami Te Tanaka Om Jai Jagadisha Hare Mata Pita Tuma Mere Sharana Gahu Meti Saki Swami Sharana Gahu Meti Saki Tuma Vina Horana Duja Vina Horana Duja Asitaram Meti Saki Om Jaya Jagadisha Hare Tuma Purana Paramatma Tuma Antarayami Swami Tuma Antarayami Parabrahma Parameshwara Parabrahma Parameshwara Tuma Sarvakeshwara Om Jai Jagadisha Hare Tuma Karuna Ke Sagara Tuma Parana Karta Swami Tuma Parana Karta Mura Kathalagami Mura Kathalagami Kripa Karo Bharata Om Jaya Jagadisha Hare Tuma Hoye Kago Chara Sabake Pranapati Swami Sabake Pranapati Kisaki Viro Daya Maya Kisaki Viro Daya Maya Tumakome Kumati Om Jaya Jagadisha Hare Dina Mando Tukaharata Kakura Tumamere Swami Kakura Tumamere Apane Naka Utao Apane Naka Utao Paraparate Om Jaya Jagadisha Hare Ishaye Vitara Vitao Paharo Deva Swami Paharo Deva Shraddha Bhakti Karao Shraddha Bhakti Karao Santana Ki Seva Om Jaya Jagadisha Hare Dana Mana Dana Saba Kuch Hai Tera Swami Saba Kuch Hai Tera Tera Tujhko Arpan Tera Tujhko Arpan Kya lage mera Om Jaya Jagadisha Hare Om Jaya Jagadisha Hare Swami Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jano ke sangat, jano ke sangat, shame jure kare. Om Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Om Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Swami Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jano ke sangat, jano ke sangat, shame jure kare. Om Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Om Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Swami Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jano ke sangat, jano ke sangat, shame jure kare. Om Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Om Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Om Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Om Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Saja, Mukta Saja, Mukta Saja, Ki Sahana Bhavatu, Sahano Bhunaktu, Saviryam Karvavate, Tejasvinavaditamastu, Adivishapate. Om Sahana Bhavatu, Sahano Bhunaktu, Saviryam Karvavate, Tejasvinavaditamastu, Adivishapate. Om Sahana Bhavatu, Sahano Bhunaktu, Saviryam Karvavate, Tejasvinavaditamastu, Adivishapate. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.
Father, after this, in my home, right since childhood, after this Aarti, we used to sing something else also. Tvamev mata cha pita tvamev, tvamev bandhuscha sakha tvamev, tvamev vidya dravinam tvamev, त्वमेव सर्वमं देव देव।
Thank you all so much for being in Satsang today. Sadhguru Shri Muji Ji ki Jai.
Satguru Shri Ananta Ji ki Jai.